How to pick the perfect spot for bluegill fishing. Hey there, fishing fanatics. Happy new day and welcome back to Fishing 24 Hours, your go-to channel for hardcore fishing tips and stories that make every trip legendary. Ever spent hours on a riverbank, casting bait nonstop, float twitching, but only catching tiny minnows while bluegill are nowhere to be found? Truth is, beyond great bait or a fancy rod, the spot you choose makes all the difference. Today, we'll dive into picking the perfect spot to hook bluegill in rivers, from reading the water, finding fish hideouts, to setting up your rod and float, helping you haul in big catches. This story takes me back a few months to Lake Toledo Bend, Texas, a prime fishing spot with calm waters. I was using top-notch cornmeal bait, casting all morning, but only snagged a tiny fish. My float dancing from small fry nibbling. Frustrated, an old angler nearby grinned, "You're casting in the wrong spot. Bluegill love lily pads, shade, and still water. Pick the right spot, and they'll come to you." I took his advice, moved to a lily pad-covered corner, water about 3 feet deep. In just 10 minutes, my float dove clean, and I pulled up a 1-pound bluegill, thrashing like crazy. That day, I bagged more bluegill, my bucket heavy, pride sky high. That's when I knew picking the right spot is the key to landing big fish. In this video, we'll explore why choosing the perfect spot is critical. How to read the water, real-world spot, picking tricks, and setup tips for bluegill. I've got 2 US stories to fire you up, plus beginner advice and safety pointers to dominate any fishing hole. These hacks work in rivers, lakes, ponds, and bayous across America, from Toledo Bend to Bayou Teche, where bluegill and even carp are crappie. So, grab a cold soda, get comfy, and let's uncover how to pick spots that bring bluegill right to your hook. Why is picking the right spot so crucial? Bluegill love still waters near lily pads, weeds, or shaded trees, where it's cool and plankton thrives. The ideal depth is 0.8 to 1.2 meters, safe and food-rich. In fast currents or deep waters, bluegill rarely linger, preferring stable environments. The right spot puts your bait right in their hideout, boosting your chances of big catches. I've tested this on countless trips, and choosing the right spot is always the first step to a big win. Real-world spot picking starts with observation. Look for areas with lily pads, weeds, or shaded trees where the current is slow. Bluegill love hiding under lily pads or near submerged roots. Use a depth finder, or pole, to check depth. 0.8 to 1.2 meters is perfect. Shallower than 0.5 meters, you'll get small fish. Deeper than 2 meters, bluegill are scarce. At Toledo Bend, I always pick lily pad corners with 3-foot depths, and bluegill bite hard. Next, choose a quiet river stretch with minimal disturbance. Bluegill are skittish. Boat noise or crowds scare them off. Find secluded corners where they feel safe. Avoid muddy waters after heavy rain, as bluegill move to clearer, stable areas. At Bayou Teche post-rain, I pick calm spots near grassy banks where bluegill gather. Watch for bubbles, fish shadows, or gentle ripples to spot their hideouts. Setup tips are key. For bluegill, use small hooks, size 6 to 8, with soft bait like cornmeal, rice, chum, or fermented bread. Use a sensitive float, under 1 gram, to catch light nibbles. Set the float 5 to 10 centimeters from the hook, dropping bait to the bottom, 0.8 to 1.2 meters deep. Bluegill nibble lightly, so wait for a full float dive or steady pull, then set the hook gently. Use a 4 to 6 pound test line for bigger bluegill. Toledo Bend, a sensitive float, and cornmeal bait are a killer combo. Practical tricks include adjusting to conditions. Small fish steal bait, pack bait larger, or move to slightly deeper water around 1.2 meters. Scatter rice, chum, or breadcrumbs 6 to 10 feet away to distract small fish. Wait 10 to 15 minutes, then cast your main bait to the main spot. At Toledo Bend, I scatter chum far to draw minnows, letting my cornmeal bait hit the bottom for bluegill. If the float twitches lightly, wait for a full dive to set the hook firmly. The right spot is critical. Calm rivers like Toledo Bend or slow bayous like Bayou Teche are where bluegill thrive. Farm ponds or muddy bottom channels work too, but rivers with lily pads or weeds are ideal. Cast near lily pad edges, submerged roots, or still water bottoms. Use a 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinker to keep bait in place. At Bayou Teche, grassy banks or lily pads post-rain are hotspots. If no bubbles or fish show, move to a shadier spot. Timing is everything. Bluegill feed hard early morning, 4:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. or late afternoon, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. near lily pads or shade. Avoid midday sun, as bluegill retreat to shadows and are less likely to bite. Cloudy days, light post-train, or gentle breezes are ideal, as bluegill get less skittish. At Toledo Bend, after light rain, lily pad spots are gold, and bluegill bite nonstop. If your float's still, wait for peak hours or move to a calmer spot. To boost success, chum before casting. Near lily pads, scatter rice chum or fermented bread to attract bluegill. Use just enough, wait 10 to 15 minutes for fish to gather. Watch for bubbles or fish to confirm their arrival. Cast bait right in the hot spot using a sensitive float to detect bites. If no bites in 15 to 20 minutes, shift spots or add more chum lightly. At Bayou Teche, chumming near lily pads brings bluegill in fast. Here's another story to show the power of picking the right spot. At Bayou Teche, Louisiana, I fished with buddies. They cast in fast currents, floats dead, catching only minnows. I patiently found a lily pad-covered corner 3 feet deep and scattered rice chum first. In under 20 minutes, my float dove and I landed a 1-pound bluegill thrashing wildly. The crew was stunned. That spot makes fish bite like that. That day I hooked more bluegill, my bucket heavy, a lesson I'll never forget. To pick spots like a pro, prep smart. Bring a depth finder, sensitive float under 1 gram, and strong 4 to 6 pound line. Pack varied baits like cornmeal, rice, chum, or fermented bread for bluegill. Check line where to avoid breaks. Watch the water, bubbles, ripples, fish to pick spots. Chum first, cast bait after, wait for fish to gather. If no bites in 15 to 20 minutes, switch spots or add more chum. At Toledo Bend, lily pad spots and rice chum are a deadly combo. In calm rivers, cast near lily pads or roots 0.8 to 1.2 meters deep. In bayous, pick slow current corners. In muddy ponds, drop to the bottom with a 1/16 to 1/8 ounce sinker. After light rain, lily pad spots are ideal for bluegill. Keep experimenting. If small fish steal bait, chum farther or cast deeper. Avoid muddy waters post-heavy rain. Bluegill don't like them. Don't cast in noisy spots. Skittish fish will scatter. Safety's key. Avoid slippery banks, especially post-train at Toledo Bend, to prevent falls. In bayous like Bayou Teche, wear a life jacket near currents. Keep noise low, avoid shadows on the water, as bluegill spook easily. Set a backup light behind you at night to see your path and avoid tripping. Pack chum tightly to avoid splattering. A little caution keeps your trip fun and safe. New to fishing? Picking the right spot is a great lesson. Try a calm river with rice chum, casting cornmeal bait near lily pads for bluegill. Note which spots and baits work, like bluegill post-train. Don't sweat a still float. Switch spots or add more chum. These tricks build observation and patience, setting you up for big catches. To level up, practice reading the water, picking spots by lily pads, shade, or ripples. Spend trips at rivers, lakes, or bayous, mastering depth checks. Use sensitive floats, strong lines, proper sinkers. In crowded spots, find a quiet corner to keep fish calm. These details make you a pro angler, even with simple gear. Picking the perfect fishing spot is a secret few share. Right spot, right bait, bluegill come to you. 3 words. Still shaded spottin'. Every time you nail the spot, fish swarm, float dives clean. It feels like carrying on the old-timer's legacy. When the float sinks slow, heart racing, hands gripping the rod, that's a moment only anglers get, rookie or pro. These tricks will make you king of any fishing hole. That's it, folks. We've cracked the secrets to picking perfect bluegill spots, from reading water, setting up rods, to avoiding slip-ups. I hope you're pumped to try these hacks. Smash that like, share with your fishing crew, and subscribe to Fishing 24 Hours for more killer tips. Got a spot picking story to share? Drop it in the comments. I'm all ears. Tight lines, big catches. See you next time.